Depress, suicide, addict, siraulo, wala sa sarili, nasasapian, tinotopak. Words that are often used or heard, but are we able to fully grasp their meaning? Napakayaman ng wikang Tagalog. Kaya naman sa paglalarawan ng ilang kondisyong pangkaisipan, napakarami nating salitang ginagamit. Ay, yung batang yan parang nasasapian, laging tinutopak. Naku, nawawala yata yung babae sa sarili. May sariling mundo yan. Baliw! For those who are going through serious psychological conditions, nagiging mahirap para sa kanila ang humingi at makakuha ng nararapat na tulong. Why? The very people who are expected to help them and guide them in managing their condition do not speak the same language.
More than 50% of Filipino psychiatrists practice in a Tagalog-speaking region of the Philippines. This implies that majority of mental health concerns are spoken in Tagalog.
Kaya naman isang grupo ng mga practitioners in the field of mental health ang nagsagawa ng masusing pag-aaral para mabuo ang librong Tagalog Notions of Mental Illness and Healing. Tagalog Notions of Mental Illness and Healing is made possible through a study grant from Medicam Pharmaceuticals, the Central Nervous System or CNS division of Unilab. Medicam Pharmaceuticals Incorporated, as part of its thrust to become compassionate people enabling people in need, partnered with the Philippine Psychiatric Association in order to create a common understanding of mental illnesses between patients and psychiatrists, with the ultimate goal of ensuring that patients achieve a clearer state of mind. Extensive research was made on the subject matter through focus group discussions or FGDs. Nag-fieldwork din ang ilang miyembro ng research team para kumausap ng iba pang resource persons.
What we did was we commissioned a set of drawings which were suggestive of the different psychiatric conditions that we were interested in. So this was also a different way of approaching it. And from these drawings, we were able to elicit their own range of emotions and thoughts about the different psychiatric disorders.
Sa data gathering process na ito, maraming lumabas na insights tungkol sa mental illnesses na may kinalaman sa ating kultura. Kabilang na ang paniniwala sa mga masasamang espiritu, usog, at kulam.
It is from culture that we get our notions of strength and weakness, our concept of lakas ng loob, for instance, or mahina ang loob, the concept of an inner person, loob, and the labas or the outer person, a concept of right and wrong, of moral and what is not moral, of what is good and what is bad. All of this comes into play in psychiatry because it is from drawing upon these concepts that we begin to define what is normal and what is abnormal, at least according to the standards we have been raised.
The book delves deep into various themes in order to bring better understanding to mental illness and what needs to be done as far as making sure patients and mental health practitioners are on the same page.
There are 6 themes in this book. The first one is about pagkatao sa gitna ng karamdaman. So literally, person in the middle of illness. Theme 2 is about the erosion of the person's loob or the inside as a trigger for greater loss of control. Theme number 3 is the experience of distress as a normal part of life that we are expected to endure, and the key word here is tiis. Theme number 4, it concerns the predominance of traditional theories of illness causation. Theme number 5 concerns medical pluralism as a health-seeking strategy. And finally, theme number 6 focuses on how mental illness is still highly stigmatized even until today.
Here are some of the book's highlights. Depress, a Tagalog idiom for suffering. Ang pagiging depress ay isang normal na reaksyon sa araw-araw na hirap na hinaharap. It's a psychosocial process. Unfortunately, it is under-recognized and under-treated. But according to Dr. Marisa Pascual, it might reach a point where someone who is depressed might not be able to cope o hindi ito makayanan. That's when it can lead to mental illness or other severe consequences. Nariyan ang suicide, alcoholism, o drug abuse. Recognizing these cultural factors and concepts is important in understanding and managing depression on the part of patients and their families, as well as the therapist. Suicide, a Tagalog word for pagpapakamatay.
The discussions revealed that suicide is considered a psycho-socio-spiritual phenomenon. The contrasts of perspectives of the professional sector and the popular sector were described and analyzed, the implications of which may affect prevalence rates, help-seeking behavior, and managing systems of care.
Adik, bangag, durugista, sabog, and nakatira. These are Tagalog words for substance abuse. Ang substance abuse ay itinuturing na bisyo o adiksyon pero hindi bilang isang karamdaman, ayon kay Dr. Joselito Pascual. Maraming salitang kalye ang associated sa substance abuse, kaya marami ring perceived causes, effects, and solutions na kailangan tignan from the perspective of patients and those surrounding them. Siraulo, nawawala sa sarili, at baliw. Tagalog words for psychosis.
And what was interesting is that I was now able to formulate, or at least to propose a model of psychological functioning based on this whole list of terminologies for psychosis. If somebody has bizarre behavior, typically, if you are working on a medical framework, you'll bring this person to a doctor for medical attention. However, in our Philippine reality, this is not so. People don't necessarily just work on the medical framework of abnormal behavior. Sometimes they work on a non-medical model, sometimes even on a supernatural model.
Sa pag-unawa sa iba't ibang salita sa wikang Tagalog, nabibigyan tayo ng pagkakataong maintindihan sa mas malalim na paraan ang pinagdadaanan ng mga pasyenteng may psychiatric condition. Tagalog Notions of Mental Illness and Healing hopes to give a clearer picture of how patients and their caregivers view their psychiatric illnesses and, in turn, make the patient-doctor encounter more culturally sensitive, competent, and meaningful.